Hey guys, welcome. You're such a smart ass.
Sorry, I had to do that.
TC is continually paying me back.
Hey, everybody, remember her?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm alive. Yeah, exactly. Rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. So welcome to Finding Your Music Mojo. I am Dawn from Two Hip Chicks, and this guy.
I'm TC from TKR VideoCentral.
Yeah, and the last time we did this, I didn't show up, so that's the reason. Thusly. But I appreciate you guys worried about me, and yeah, it was totally a brain fart, totally my fault. And again, I publicly and privately now,
And
sure,
she's been forgiven 1,000 times over. So
thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. The least I can do is show up to my own channels live. Gosh darn it. Welcome everybody who's in the chat. We've got Michael's here. Angry Otter Comics. The Angriest Otter is here. Welcome. Mary's here, so Mary's listening in as well. Cool, honey. Thank you for coming in. I almost had her come down here, but she's doing her own thing upstairs. Yeah. Patrick.
Hey, Patrick. And Mary and Michael.
Yeah, Mary, Michael, and Leon is here. Hello, Leon. How you doing, hon? Welcome. Good to see you. Janae is here. Welcome. So, Florida, you're much warmer than we are. Here we are about 30 degrees. You've got us beat in Florida for sure. But welcome everybody. We've been covering many topics since the show started, and this is episode 16, I think, right?
I guess I haven't actually counted them, so you're the one that always has the count on them. So I
got the count on
all good for that.
16, which is huge.
Yeah,
for me anyway. And we've covered a lot of cool topics, but one thing we haven't really discussed that much, and I thought would be a good topic for today. So I'll let you guys all get. I'm going to give you this topic, and then I'm going to cover some of the stuff we did last week or the last show that I wasn't here for. Today's topic is live performance versus studio tracks or studio albums. Which do you prefer and why? So there you go. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But last week we were supposed to talk about which was artists that we thought were underappreciated or underloved,
underrated. Yep.
Didn't get enough spotlight. And you come up with a lot of good ones.
Highlight Momster, will you?
Highlight the Momster. I told her, I said, you let me forget tonight, and I will die 1,000 deaths. It's a horrible thing. So my mom is on it. Thank you, Mom. The cattle prod was not necessary, though. But hey, I appreciate it anyway. At least she didn't sit there and go, and what are you doing tonight at 6? Every time I saw her.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anyway, last time you came up with a bunch of good ones, and a lot of them actually I agree with. You had Jan Arden on that list.
I love Jan Arden, and she's a national treasure in Canada, and in America, nobody.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because now I know how I found her, which was because we used to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Get my teeth back in. We used to watch Buffy, and a lot of times Joss Whedon would take these obscure artists and put them either in the soundtrack or put them on the stage of the local hangout or the kids hung out.
Yeah.
So Jan Arden's Insensitive was one of the songs that was played during the episode where Willow and her girlfriend had to break up, and it was really I just love the lyrics, so I went and found her album. Great album, by the way, that came off of. So
Living Under June, fantastic album. Love that album.
If you guys haven't heard it, go just go to YouTube or any streaming service and pull up Living Under June, Jan Arden, and it's a really cool. It's a good one. And then you had mentioned Three Dog Night, which I totally agree with.
Yeah.
For sure.
Three Dog Night used to be everywhere. I mean, back in the 80s, they were still loved. And now, when I'm listening to the vinyl community talk about classic rock, they almost never come up. And yet they were considered one of the premier AOR bands of their day.
Black and
White.
White.
Though they had top 40 hits, too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they had a lot of different Eli's Coming, Black and White.
Old Fashioned Love Song, Liar, Till the World Ends, all great stuff. Shambhala.
Yeah, exactly. That whole thing.
Yeah.
Surprised me that you're right. They're not appreciated.
You very seldom hear anybody talk about them, and I love them. I've always loved them.
I think weren't they on the ABC label? There was I don't know
They
why.
were. They were.
I don't know
ABC
why.
Dunhill, and then straight over to ABC when Dunhill went under.
Yeah, and I don't know why. It's not like there's some contractual reason why they can't be played, I would assume. So that's interesting. And then I had a few of my own. So you're not going to believe this, but I'm not a big country fan. I'm not a big I mean the crossover hits, yes. Some of the older tunes that made crossover radio. You're not going to believe this, but Bobby Gentry is on my list.
I love Bobby Gentry. She's awesome. Bobby
Gentry, you don't hear a lot from her because she's pretty much disappeared now. But I think she went off and just decided not to perform anymore. This was, I think, her second album or whatever. It's called Delta Suite, and it has got a really good combination of styles on it. It's not just country. She goes, for the Delta blues and then some of that other stuff. So she has a couple songs on here that are just phrased differently, and they you wouldn't expect them to sound that way. And her voice is amazing. So
yeah, I picked up her jazz album, Record Store Day last year, I think it was.
Yep.
I wasn't going to get it. I mean, it was on my maybe list if I had enough money, but Adam happened to have a copy left when he was doing his sale.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll take that because I love her. And it's dynamite. I mean, it is dynamite.
And I just don't think she's seen enough airtime from the stuff she did. I mean,
everybody all they ever played was Ode to Billy Joe. So
yeah,
it's like,
and that was her hit. That was the thing.
Yeah.
But she did much more than that, and she did a much better job of it. And then the other one is Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
I love their stuff.
I haven't really explored them all that much. I know a few of their songs, but
so they were, they're a 70s group, right? So
yeah, 60s, 70s, yep.
Yeah, they did like Lucky Man and some other songs, and they just I hit on a couple of their songs while I was digging through 45s and stuff, and I just found them for whatever reason. I mean, I listened to them when I was younger, but for whatever reason now that struck a chord, and I think they were one that was that I would say is probably another group that I don't think got enough.
Yeah, I love their instrumental cover of "Song for the Common Man." Aaron, love that. Found that when Terry Funk was using it as entrance music at ECW a few years ago, and I do love that one. Patrick, I got to agree with Patrick right there. Great comment.
The studio,
yeah,
that one. After playing through Axl Rose.
The voice is great if you're listening to the studio album, but what I've heard of Axl, Ken will kill me for saying this, but I'm not really that thrilled with him as a live performer. Tom Kiefer, I can't really claim because I haven't seen Cinderella live, and Vince Neil, I've never been a big fan of. So there you are. I love hair bands, but I don't. There's just certain stuff that I don't like, and Motley Crue is one of them. So.
Oh my gosh, that's it. You're polarizing the chat already. I can see it coming.
I like certain songs.
Oh, here you go. So Michael said Roxette. Yeah, that's another good one too.
They were.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can agree with that for sure.
And I'm not mistaken. I think they have, at least I know, the lady in Roxette passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I think the gentleman did also. I'm not sure.
Oh, goodness.
I know one of them is no longer living. So they were great when they were
great.
around.
I think one of the hit that got me turned on to him was Joyride, Roxette. So that. But I had mostly their singles. I never really got into their albums.
Yeah, me too.
I've ran across a few since then, and it's all good. I cannot say anything bad about Roxette at all. Janie's like, yeah, Roxette was my jam. Yes.
Love Listen to Your Heart and
Joyride.
They did The Look also, did they not? I like that one too.
Yeah, I think so. Listen to Your Heart. Yeah, that was a good one too. That was a heartbreaker. Say Bret Michaels still had
Bret for all the health problems he's had, he is aging fairly well. Both in career and voice, so he is not doing too badly. And Poison's out on the road again right now.
Really?
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's gotten older looking for sure. We all have, right? But Patrick says that Marie passed.
Marie Fredrickson passed away. Yeah.
Yep. And yep, Michael says so as well. Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't know if that works or not. Funny. Yes, Milli Vanilli sucked in their live performances. I wonder why. I never did get on that bandwagon to collect get my money back. I wonder if I could find some old ones and get a little money back now.
Patrick, when did you see Aerosmith?
Must have been Love.
Because we saw Aerosmith on New Year's Eve, 1993, and they were terrific. And I've seen Def Leppard 3 times. They're awesome.
Yeah, you're
never a bad show. I am.
Yeah.
Huge Def Leppard fan. So it's one of the
I like Def Leppard too. To a point, yeah. I didn't really get crazy about them, but I did enjoy their music for sure. Still do.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to see them in concert 3 times, and they are fabulous. Well, at least when I've ever seen them, they've been fabulous and funny. They're hilariously funny on stage.
Oh, it was in the 2000s.
Oh well, that could be easily explained then.
So
back right before Steven Tyler decided he was a country music artist.
Yes. Hey, look, just saying. What happened with Garth Brooks? Chris Gaines? Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Well, there's new stuff coming out from that too.
Chris Gaines?
Garth said last year they did a whole bunch of stuff that was never released, and it will be out. It was supposed to be out by the end of this year, but they pushed it back to 23 because they couldn't have time with his tours and stuff getting postponed and stuff. They haven't had time to finish it up. But there will be new Chris Gaines material by the end of next year.
So explain to everybody who might not know what the whole Chris Gaines thing was.
In 1999, there was Garth was going to star in a movie called The Lamb about a rock star being stalked by a crazy fan. The singer in the movie was named Chris Gaines. He released an album ostensibly titled Chris Gaines' Greatest Hits, and it's a terrific album.
He's a fictitious person, mind you, by the way.
Yeah. Garth Brooks in the Life of Chris Gaines is what it's called for real. And it was a complete change of pace for him, and it was really good. And Lost in You became a bona fide hit. Yeah, it actually hit the top 10 on the pop chart. But they have not gone any further with it, and then the critics didn't get it, the country family didn't get it, so it kind of tanked. But it's a shame because
he was going to play this guy in this movie.
Yeah,
because I remember the artwork for the single anyway, and possibly the album, was it was him made up as a kind of punk rockish looking
grunge rocker,
dark black hair.
It looked a lot like he looked a lot like Trent Reznor.
Yeah,
in that picture, actually, which is really crazy.
You look at it and you go, "That's freaking, that's Garth Brooks." But yeah, it was. So it was kind of cool. But yeah, and I was kind of bummed that they didn't do anything with it. But I'm glad they're doing something with it now. Seems like there would be a little bit of money in that, at least for him.
Writing it down now, Michael. I have not had a chance. I forgot. I will listen.
Read. I want to know who turned me on to. Where did I go with the sticky note? Crap. No, I lost it. I'll find it again. I lost my sticky note. I was cleaning my desk. Never do that. Don't clean your desk. Wait a minute. Maybe I'll find it here. I found somebody on YouTube that I really liked, and I can't remember who turned me on to it. So I was going to get some. That's not it. I'll find the name. Anyway. So anyway, live versus studio.
Okay.
And remember that. Yeah, Garth Salter, you go. So my take on it is I've always been a studio performing type. I have the ear for that. I guess because it's the first time I hear something, the first version of whatever, the first artist who sings it, I usually attach to that if I like the song or like the artist. So live performances, and I was never really able to go to many live performances. When I did, it was more about, kind of being there versus the soundtrack or whatever comes out of it.
Yeah.
So I was never really a fan of live performance albums. except for one, which we will talk about in a minute. But and that's basically probably because it just hit me at the right time when I was impressionable.
Right.
But yeah, it's always been a thing. So very few live versions of things will I like when I hear them, unless it's the first time I heard them, and then yeah, that's okay. But I usually lean towards studio because I'm not a big fan of the all the noise in the background, the cheering, yeah, I love you, man, you're great, all that stuff going on. And the other thing is, my memory of the song, I hear it the way I heard it on the radio or in the album, and when it's off from that a little bit, because you cannot, a live performance is fluid and it's a live thing, and you're not doing it exactly the same way every time because humans just don't do that. It messes me up. I remember it a certain way. I'm listening to it. It's stupid, I know. It messes me up. I expect the next note to be here, and it's here, or if it's delayed a little bit. It just, I don't like it.
Now, I can be honest. I don't mind watching live videos.
Yeah.
And I don't mind seeing performers live. I love seeing performers live. But listening to them on a record or a CD is not the same. There are good ones. Yes, there are good ones. But most of them, I mean, I do have a few live albums in my collection, but nothing that I listen to with any regularity, with the exception of the one we were talking about pre-show, which was probably the most successful live album of all time.
Possibly.
Do you guys know what that was?
I'll take your word for it, because I didn't know it was the most successful album of all time.
It's the most successful live album of all time, I think.
Really? Okay.
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it is.
There you go. But yeah, that's very possible. Michael Bublé sounds amazing live, yet just saying. Okay. I like anything he does, really. I mean, I have heard some of his stuff that's done live, and I guess maybe it's because I don't have that memory of all his discography laid into my the tracks on my brain to notice the difference, and therefore it doesn't bother me as much. But say, I don't know, any popular artist that I know the song fairly well and can sing along with, it's going to mess me up if you throw a live version at me of it. Not mess me up like I'm going to have a heart attack or something. It's just mess me up. I'm not going to melt down. I'm just going to say, I'd rather have the studio track.
I think the one act I saw that did that to me surprisingly was DC Talk. I saw them live with Michael W. Smith in Columbus, Ohio in 1992. And they were just becoming the act that they would be by the end of the 90s, the number one selling hip hop gospel trio of all time.
Yeah.
And I've always loved them, and I love the solo stuff, but they did a version. Their first hit was a song called Heaven Bound. And it's this very up-tempo hip hop style, a lot of horns in it, really well done. And I was used to that. So when they came out and ended the show with this reggae version, I was like, what the heck is this? It sounds, I mean, it was cool, but I'd never sounded like that before, and it wasn't what I was expecting. But I enjoyed that show so much. It was so much fun, and I've been a huge fan for so many years. I wish I'd gotten to see them more than the one time before they split up. But I love them. They're awesome.
Card Chop Reality says it has to be Kiss.
No.
The greatest live. I think it's done with the most popular.
I think Kiss is up there. Maybe Kiss might be, Kiss Alive 1 sold more than this, but I don't know for sure. I'm going to actually, let me look it up while we're talking, because I do.
Yeah, you got the technology for that, buddy. You can do it. DC Talk Jesus Freak.
That's actually the title of the third album.
Okay. I have gotten into YouTube and watching some of the prog rock artists do their thing, or like, so I've watched some like ELO. I've actually watched some ELO live performances, and I'm getting there. But I remember ELO from the album tracks. Same with Alan Parsons, although I don't see a lot of Alan Parsons Project live, because you really don't do that. But
I can't read the font on that one.
Well, what?
I can't read the font on on that
It's a bitch getting old.
on that one. Yeah.
Just
Well, no, it's like Star Trek font. That's all screwed up.
oh, all junky and yeah.
No, I'm wrong. It's no longer the best, but it was one of the biggest.
Mary saw Mike and the Mechanics live. Wasn't impressed. They're one group where I'll stick to their studio work. Yeah, weren't those the guys from Genesis or one of the guys, Mike from Mike and the Mechanics?
Mike and the Mechanics, yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm, Mike Rutherford, yeah.
Yep. I like their stuff.
Their studio stuff is awesome. I love the third album they did, Beggar on a Beach of Gold, went nowhere, and it's the best album they did. I love that album. We played it in store when I worked for Transworld. It was just fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah, the biggest selling live albums of all time, according to sales, the biggest selling one of all time, I was completely wrong about, is Double Live from Garth Brooks. It went 20 times platinum. Wow.
Really?
Springsteen's Live 75 to 85, which is technically a box set, is in second place. Eagles Live in third. Frampton Comes Alive, which is the one I was talking about, is
you
fourth.
Thought that one was, yeah.
And Nirvana's MTV Unplugged in New York is in fifth place.
No, those were cool. The Unplugged. The live
I love
Unplugged.
the Nirvana album. I was never a huge... I liked Nirvana. Liked the singles. I had the singles from Nevermind. But it was Unplugged, watching that, which didn't air until about 4 or 5 months after Kirk killed himself, that made me realize just what a musical genius he was. He was just amazing on that live show. And I wish he'd still be with us because he was terrific.
I really enjoyed those, but it was because I think I could see the performer and the performance itself, where it didn't mess with my studio recorded sensibilities or whatever. I don't know. The brain wasn't playing the tape. It was more like experiencing it without expecting to hear the next thing hit. You know?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Another act I've loved live, watching the YouTubes of, and it's probably because I'm such a huge fan of them right now, and they're, again, another act that doesn't get the credit they deserve, is a band from Copenhagen called Lucas Graham.
Oh.
Most people think it's just the guy, Lucas Graham, but the band is Lucas Graham. The guy is Lucas Forthammer.
It's like Dr. Hook singer, right? Yeah.
And
Dr. Hook kind of thing.
You know, they had one big hit around the world and a couple of minor hits, but they put on such an incredible show live. And Lucas's rapport with the audience is just fantastic. And I don't have a trouble with listening to the slight variations of their songs when it comes to the way they do them in live.
Cyndi Lauper live would be interesting. That would be fun. So everybody's listing like who they've seen live and stuff. But what other versions of songs that you prefer live over studio out there in the chat? Let us know. Because you can get them both ways a lot of times, especially if they've ever been on the concert tour anywhere. Awesome, because the artist would, the talk and tell stories. I agree with that. That was also part of the fun of it. I don't want to mention one of my all-time faves, James Brown, doing the first live album ever. Hey, that's true. James Brown, I enjoy some of James Brown's work, but I don't know. I do. I like some of James Brown's stuff, and I enjoy watching the guy. Holy moly, is he a ball of energy?
Yeah, he certainly was.
Oh my God. And I'm not sure if that was chemically induced or not, and I don't care. He did a good job. There you go. Hey, man. The Eagles. Yeah, okay, now that's a good point. Eagles, that was a good album. Eagles Live. That was a very good album. But I would still rather have the, Eagles Greatest Hits.
Yeah.
Listen to that versus the Eagles Live album.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There, I think the songs that are best live are the ones for most people, the ones they like best live are the ones that they knew live because the live versions were released as the singles.
Yep.
Frampton Comes Alive is the perfect example. Show Me the Way.
I want you to want me.
Yeah.
It comes back from
that's Cheap Trick.
Yeah, it's Cheap Trick, but I meant released as a single.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
I Want You to Want Me and Ain't That a Shame were released off live in Budokan. And then Show Me the Way, Do We Feel Like We Do, and Baby I Love Your Way were the singles off of the Frampton Comes Alive album. Yep. That live album I can listen to over and over and have since I had it on an 8-track when I was in high school. So
Okay. So Mike said, Ingrouters appreciate the Jorgen Dahl Moe's live version of Dancing in the Dark, much better than Bruce Springsteen's version. I'll have to check it out. I haven't checked it out, but I will. I've got notepads here. I got Post-it notes. I can do this. And I did find the note I was looking for. Who turned me on to Connor Price? Who do I have to thank for that? Connor Price is a young artist. You can pull him up on YouTube.
It doesn't sound familiar.
He's a rapper. Whoever turned me on
That's
to
why.
him, thank you very much. I love him. He's very good, and he does great work. Thank you very much. Let's see. So I'm going to write this down here so I can check it out before I forget.
Yeah, me too. Jorgen Dahl Mose. Okay.
Got it. Thank you, Michael. Spice Girls reunion, the 2012 Olympics. Was it awesome? You know, I know like 3 songs from them, 2 or 3, and that's it. And I wasn't a big Spice Girls fan when they came out, except for those 3 hits. You know, I didn't really like follow them. So that's cool, Patrick. Spice Girls. Queen live. Queen,
Yeah.
Anytime Queen.
They were fantastic at Live Aid. It was amazing. Of course, it's Queen. Freddie Mercury is never, ever bad as far as I'm concerned. I don't always like all their songs, but he was just something else.
Okay? So am I wrong? Out of all the Queen songs, and I like a lot of them, Radio Gaga is my favorite, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Got any clue on that besides just?
It may have hit at the right moment when you were at that age when just getting into music. Because Radio Gaga was their last major American hit in 1983.
It might have been the MTV generation too, because I think they used scenes from Metropolis in that video, and I think that was also cool.
And then later on, Freddie recorded something for the rock version of Metropolis, which if you've never seen, you should. I should. It's fun. It's not as good as the original film, but it's fun. All the weird tents and all the weird rock music with it.
I'm writing that down too. There we go. There we go. Those 3 hits are probably the ones. Yeah, okay. Like I said, 3 of them. That's all I really got into.
I take it, Patrick, you're not much of a Spice Girls fan.
Another one. This is a great 80s tune. That's why. Yeah, exactly, Mom Knows Treasures. And welcome, by the way, dear. It's got a hook. It's got a beat. Exactly. I'll give it an 85.
I mean, I got to be honest. The best Queen song ever is still Bohemian Rhapsody to me. I love that song since it first came out. It's a great song. I listened to a parody of it just this morning called Bohemian Catsidy. I think I've sent you that before, Don, but if I have,
Yes, and the video, I've seen the video of it where the cat faces are,
yeah.
Mama. Yeah, I brought you the dead mouse, or the dead bird. Yeah. It's cute. Bohemian Cassidy. I think as far as, because I like that style of music, or the way, because they looped over and over and they redubbed over and over to a depth of a chorus, right? For Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Carpenters did that a lot with their background vocals. They did the vocals, they just beat the heck out of them multiple times.
A lot of overdubs, yeah.
Yep. So I can respect that.
Yeah.
There you go. Live Queen.
So show us your favorite live album.
So okay, on my favorite live album. Yeah, thank you for bringing us back to task here.
Well, this is all on task.
I have one that I know of. I haven't gone through my whole albums. Yeah, all my albums, or my CDs, but I know of one that came to mind immediately when we thought of this idea, this topic. The one album that I have in my collection that's live that I enjoy thoroughly and prefer many of the hits, especially one in particular, off of this album versus the studio copy. So this is the album. You may laugh accordingly.
Although I'm not going to laugh because I love that album. I love that album.
It's a great album. So mind you, when did this thing come out? 72? 77. All right. So a very angsty teenager. Obviously, aren't we all? This album for whatever reason, I don't even know why I bought it. Maybe I bought it because I like Barry Manilow, but I couldn't afford to buy all the other albums, so this had a lot of them on there.
Yeah. And
before I
Daybreak
knew
was
that
a hit right off the live album too. That the live album version of Daybreak is way better than the studio version.
And that's the song I like. And I bought a friend of mine gave me a 45 of Daybreak, the studio version. They did actually produce a studio version single of it.
It was actually on the flip side of the live one. So yeah.
Yeah. So and it paled in comparison to this. And I think the reason is, I don't know, was the audience participation factor in it. The fact that they did like an encore, they did a one more time through the whole thing. And I don't know what it was, whatever it did, it spoke to me and I loved it. So
it's also the only place you can get the Very Strange medley too.
Yeah, which is on the B side, or flip side 2.
Side 2, yeah.
Yeah. So because of course, it's not A and B, C and D, it's A, B, C, D is how they do it. Yeah. So because you were supposed to put them both on the turntable, let the thing hold them up while they flop down. I never understand that. But anyway. Okay with 45s. Don't do that to LPs, man. It's just it scuffs the heck out of them. So anyway, who came in that we didn't say hi to yet?
DC is here, but she has no sound, unfortunately, she says.
Who? What? Who has no sound?
DC.
Why? No. Dang it. Okay, It's Kind of Magic is Patrick's favorite Queen.
That's a good song.
Yeah, that one, wasn't that from what movie was it? With the guys with swords. Oh crap. I'm terrible.
I don't know if that was in Highlander or not.
Yeah, Highlander. It was.
I don't remember. I know there's an album called A Kind of Magic, so.
Well, maybe. I thought it was on Highlander. Okay, I'm sorry. Back up here. So Lady Gaga took her name from the song Radio Gaga. I'll buy that.
Yeah.
I will buy that. Live Aid's Queen performance, the top 3 of the top 1 of the best performance of all time. That's a lot of tops there. Thank you, Patrick, but I kind of agree. Let's see. I like Give Me the Prize. Okay, you get it. Foo Fighters. Tribute concert to Taylor Hawkins. Oh, really?
Yeah, I still haven't had a chance to watch that. I know it's online somewhere, and I'd like to
make a note. Hey, if I'm gonna glean all I can out of this show. Got it. All right. Yeah, Mary knew it was going to be Barry. Yeah, because you saw me walk out with the album. I came out of the office. She's up in the office. I'm walking out with records to go downstairs with, and she knew. Did you know I was going to pull this one up, though? No.
And how scary is it that I have that?
It shouldn't. It's not scary at all. Yeah, I got this was in a stash of records I got actually from Patrick. Thank you very much, Patrick. Unfortunately, it does skip.
Patrick, you gave that up. Shame on you.
Cool it's a cool album.
It is a cool album. Dr. Domino used to play the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins all the time.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if it's on that one or the other one.
Yeah, it's on this one.
Yeah.
I believe it is. Hang on. I thought it was on here.
It might be on. He did 2 of them, and that might be on the second one. I'm not sure. So.
Well, maybe not. Nope, I thought it was on here, but it's not. I wondered if Copa would come up. The Copa Cabana. No sound. I don't know what to do about that.
I don't think Copacabana was out yet at the time the live album came out. That was on Even Now, which is 78.
Yeah.
So it probably wasn't on there. Although he's got like 3 or 4 other live albums over the years. So
true. Yeah,
I'm sure you could find it.
Here.
2 Nights Live is also great. And that
the
does
bandstand have stuff is on here.
We're going hopping. We're going hopping today.
Hopping. Yeah, Copa's not on here. You're right.
Yeah, it's too soon for that one. Like I said, 2 Nights Live, it's on that one. So you can find it around there.
Okay, I thought you saw it. Maybe Mom saw it. Anyway. Her name was Lola.
Okay. My turn to shock you.
Yes. Okay.
I have a few good live albums, but one of them that I do have that I'm not that impressed with is by one of our favorite artists.
Really? Okay.
Carpenters Live at the Palladium. This is not available in America. This is a UK issue.
It's the reason I don't have it. Yes.
Yeah. And I picked it up. Our local Pennies carried some of these. Another import album from Jam or whatever it is up there when I was a kid. And I grabbed this, and I mean, not to say it's bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not what I wanted in a live album, because all of the hits are relegated to one medley on side 2. It takes up the whole side, and you don't get the whole version of any of the songs. Side 1 opens with Richard's Flat Baroque, and then you get a Kind of Hush, Jambalaya, a medley of older songs. I can't see the titles. It's like some of their album tracks and Richard's stuff. And then the Warsaw Concerto, and From This Moment On. It's not a bad album, but it's not what I would have wanted in a live Carpenters album, even if it does really have the best album cover picture of them ever. And that becomes a running gag in that book I got, Don. The album covers.
They took crappy pictures.
The album covers they did, yeah.
Yeah, their album cover pictures were horrid, and I don't know
They
why.
did do one other live album that's also not been released here in America called Live in Japan, which is slightly better, but I never bought it because it's still not what I was looking for.
Oh, I see.
So
you have a discerning taste when it comes to live albums.
I like certain live albums.
I'm going to have to look that up. I'm going to have to listen. I'll go online and find them, and I'll tell you what I think of them because I haven't heard them yet.
Yeah.
So Michael's got an English album only released in Israel. Read on. US
Kid Video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how much I want that album, Michael? It's $450. I've been looking for that forever. Mainly because I love Video Romeo, the song that Robbie Riss does the lead vocal on. Love that song. I have it. I have some of them downloaded from various places. But yeah, that thing is impossibly expensive, and I would love to get it. But it was only released in Israel for some reason. I never figured that out.
So impressive. Really, very embarrassing Vegas moment was a friend covered a Barry Manilow show press conference recently at the Westgate Hotel and Casino. That should be interesting. Now, this Barry was very young and vivacious and exciting and fun to watch and fun to listen to, and I'm sure today's Barry.
And then Barry talks like this with his mouth closed all the time because he can't open his jaw enough. He's had too many facelifts.
There's a lot going on with Barry right now. Vanity is a horrible mistress. Anyway, there you have it. Yeah, so that is cool. Yes. Okay.
You need to read the second part of that one, Dawn.
I'm getting there. Because of the bare metals. Yeah. Stories of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Here we go again. Yeah, he's you
can say what you want about him. The man is a consummate performer, and he always will be. He's terrific at everything he does.
He's talented, right? He can dance. He can.
Oh,
he can
ouch,
dance.
Mom! I don't know if I'd go quite that far.
He can sing. Almost. We're not here to bash Barry Manilow. I love Barry Manilow. Shut up. Yeah.
I do too, but I recognize what she's talking about. Yeah, he's
made choices. You know what I'm saying? He's made choices, and I'm sorry. It's just
sadly, Dolly's made the same choices recently, and it hasn't really helped either.
So did you see now when she did a cameo on the Orville?
I did see that. I watched that part of that episode.
No spoilers. I'm not trying to spoil things for people, but towards the end, one of the episodes of the Orville she was in, and they did de-age her.
Yeah.
They took her back to whatever number of facelifts this is, Dolly, and she looked really good. Yeah. Now, that wasn't what she looks like when she walked on the stage, but there you go. But again, another person that you just let them have it because they're so talented and so wonderful otherwise.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thinking someone is dead. Wait a minute. Someone is dead is the least offensive of the comments. Yeah. At least they didn't say like they reanimated his corpse and brought him on the stage. That would have been horrible. But yeah.
Yeah.
Houses. Yep. Yep.
They did. They certainly did.
They sure did. Yeah. You thought they were dead, but they're not. Anyway, so what were you looking for in the Carpenters live album that you didn't get?
Well, I just wanted to see more of the hits, number one, not just relegated to a 12-minute medley of like 20 songs.
Okay.
Where you only get like 2 or 3 lines of each song. So I would have liked to have seen them do that. Not that it's a bad album. I mean, yeah, it's Karen and Richard. They don't know how to do bad, really. And so it was, but just the songs they picked, I realized that Jambalaya was a huge hit overseas. It was not released as a single here, but it was a big top hit in both Japan and the UK. Yeah. They released it as a single in the UK, and it was a big hit over there. But I just thought that they could have done, longer versions of most of their hits. And I think that has a lot to do with why they never released a live album in the States. They always were worried that they would not capture what they had on the record. Richard has always said that, he goes back, he's always, even today, here he is at 83, still going in, still sweetening stuff. They did that marvelous album, which I have yet to pick up, Carpenters and the London Symphony Orchestra, where they rearranged some of the stuff and recorded the symphony with it, and it sounds magnificent. I've listened on Spotify. They did stuff that you couldn't have done back then.
Yeah.
Right. But I wish they would have done an honest to goodness, like a hits live album, because when you see a live album, 90% of the time they're mostly hits, not album tracks or not obscure stuff.
Right.
And like I said, there's only a few more live albums that I really love. So
it's not like he was worried that she wouldn't be able to hit the notes or whatever. Because I've heard multiple times, I've heard recordings of her singing live.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, it wasn't like
she's fabulous.
She wasn't lip syncing. She was singing live, and she was as close to pitch perfect as you're ever going to get.
Yeah, she always was.
So it wasn't because he was worried that they weren't going to be able to perform properly. I think it was just he's a perfectionist.
Yeah, and he was worried that the fans wouldn't like it well enough as compared to all the great stuff they do in the studio that they couldn't recreate live, like the wall of sound vocals and such like that. I think that's why ultimately they never released an official live album in the States.
Right, yeah. I mean, they were, true. Live song that goes. Really? Good to know. I assume they did it after CCR.
Oh, Patrick, you must love fish. I really grew to hate fish when I worked for Transworld. We had a fish fanatic working there, and they had a live album come out right at the time I was at one store, PHISA.
Yeah, okay.
And I mean, I'm sorry, I do not want to hear a song that lasts 41 minutes and 12 seconds. One song. I really just don't need that much of a jam.
You can go back. That's the track you play in an album-oriented rock station when you have to go to the bathroom.
Exactly.
Take a break
and go over and get dinner. Smoke
a cigarette or two and go back to the mic. Exactly. That's your bathroom break, buddy. That's your break. Some Mariah Carey live years ago voice is really not what it used to be. Yeah, that's the thing. As we get older.
Yeah.
It happens.
Frank didn't sound as good at 70 as he sounded at 30 either.
Yeah.
I mean, he still sang well, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't as good.
I don't know. Who did the Jambalaya song first? Was it
Hank Williams?
Hank Williams did it first.
Yeah.
Which the Carpenters came out then next, and then CCR, or
there's probably 20, 30, 40,000 covers of that. Most of the Hank Williams stuff there are. So
that's true. But yeah, and I guess but as we've talked before, the version you heard first is usually your favorite version.
Mm-hmm.
of the song if you liked it.
Yeah.
Usually.
Not
Johnny Cash
always,
at
but
Folsom
usually.
Prison. Actually, that's not a bad album.
No, that's a pretty good album too.
I have heard that album, and because I had to play grade it, so I listened to the whole thing, and it's not a bad album. I actually I enjoyed it.
Patrick, I'm with you on that. It's a great song, but yeah, after the first few minutes, it gets kind of monotonous.
Which one is this?
Alice's Restaurant. 16 minutes and something. It's all side one of that album.
Yeah.
And it's a great song, but it lasts too long.
I think, okay, I've had enough of this.
some when it comes to live albums, let's see what I like. Like I said, I have the Frampton Comes Alive, which I love.
Right. Yeah.
I have 2 quasi live albums by Hanson, because there's Live at Albertine, which I got from you, which I also had already, but I have the official one, which isn't as good as the Underneath Live Acoustic, which was done with an acoustic set and a live audience at the House of Blues, and it's a fan club only, and it's terrific. Three Dog Night's live album, Around the World with Three Dog Night from 1973, was fabulous. It's the only one of the rock albums of those types that I ever liked really well. And An Evening with the Vancouver Symphony by Jan Arden. That album is not only great music, it is hysterically funny, because she has a mouth like a truck driver, and it is a riot. And she can do it live too. She's great live, the way that she is just on the records. If you've ever heard any of the other stuff, I don't know what else you've heard of hers, Don, but
besides the Living Under June.
Yep.
There was a couple other songs I heard of hers that weren't on that album.
We'll have to fix that.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding, because it's just like it kind of gets put in the back of your head and you don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Thank you, Michael. I've copied it and I've got it set to watch later. Thank you very much.
Is that the theme song, Michael?
Video.
Yeah, video to radio is the theme song for the show. So yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, yeah. There you go. Your name is Folsom. So yeah, kind of like that. Maybe that's why I like Daybreak, because it's dawn, it's daybreak. I don't know. Anyway, there's not.
Janae, it's Jann, 2 N's. Arden, Arden. That's correct. And you can see her Canadian sitcom on Hulu. Both seasons are available for streaming.
She has a Canadian sitcom?
Yeah. She basically plays herself, a heightened version of herself. I have not watched them. I do know she has been nominated for several Gemini Awards which is their Emmys, and it has been a huge hit up there.
What's the name of it again?
Jan.
Just Jan?
Just Jan.
Canadian sitcom. And where is it?
Hulu.
All right.
And she's a riot on Twitter if you guys ever want to grab her. She's fun. And very opinionated and very political about a lot of stuff in America, even though she lives full-time in Calgary.
Well, they're close. They're a neighboring country.
Yeah.
Gaga. Oh, Inagata Davida. Yeah. Inagata Davida. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hulu sitcom. I'll be damned. Nice to know. I think the new song is a hit. It's just a fix of Freddie. Yeah. As long as it's mixed by Freddie LeGrand. Hit me with that. Do I like?
Fetty?
Give me an example. Give me an example, Michael. Give me an example for sure. All right, I've got that one bookmarked, so I'm good for that one. There's 10 people watching. Thank you everybody for coming in. I know. I'm sure a lot of them are. So everybody in the chat, what song do you prefer live versus studio or vice versa? So like people, so I'm sure somebody likes the studio version of Daybreak.
Yeah.
That's all they ever heard, considering one. But there's other live versus studio songs out there. Just pick any artist, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to know what everybody else has got in mind as far as what they prefer. That people have said, "Are you crazy?" It happens to me a lot. I don't know if it happens to anybody else, but it happens to me a lot. Darn it.
The live versions of a lot of the Paul McCartney stuff are pretty good compared to the studio versions, especially those that were on, I think it was Wings Over America. And then he did
3 Sides Live.
Yeah, and then there was the single coming up, which the live version was the hit version, Live at Glasgow, even though the video was actually done to the studio version, and the video is Paul and Linda playing everybody in it. So Beatle Paul and Ron of Sparks and a whole bunch of other people. But it's a good song either way, but the live version works better. So
True. Also, while we got the whole gang here, I'd like to know what you guys would like to talk about next episode. We'd love to know what you guys think would be a good topic. If there's something that's just eating at your brain and you really want to discuss, we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah,
sure.
Leave it in the chat or put it in the comments.
Yeah, or put it in the comments and we can do a whole show on it. Also, if there's questions or anything you have for us, we're here for that too. We got like 10 minutes left, so
yeah,
we can pop off topic if you guys want to talk about something else. We're not regimented. We'll just fly all over the place. Sometimes we have to draw us back in. Okay, so here's what we have. So both mix it. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Put your hands up for Detroit. Yes. Put your hands up. I love that one. Good. Yes. Laura's here. Woohoo! We got 10 minutes, Laura, but you made it. Congratulations. You figured it out. Was it hard? I don't know. Poor Laura. But anyway, welcome, dear. Welcome. Come on in. What's your favorite live version of whatever, or your studio version, and which do you prefer? There you go. That was the topic. So you know now. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, dang it. How do you feel about Hoobastank?
I like him.
Okay. I don't know.
I haven't heard them live.
Never heard them live. Me neither. I don't know where that came from. You're slow. It's okay, Laura. You're not that slow, honey. It's all right.
I suppose you're also a Nickelback fan.
There's only one song that I like of Nickelback's.
Nickelback's not bad. I think it's such a terrible reputation. They're not bad.
For reminding me, yeah. Nickelback
Creed could be worse.
So I think Nickelback probably got a bad rap for a couple reasons. Number one, that song was played to death.
Yeah.
To death. Oh, it was nailed in a coffin, buried, then thrown out to sea. I don't know what they did to it, but they beat this horse. So if I heard one more time, this is how you remind me, I was going to kill myself. You know what I'm saying? It was that bad. I liked it the first time I heard it, and maybe the fifth time. But after that, it got old quick. Bob Seger Live. Okay, yeah, there's another one. That Bob Seger Live Bullet is a good album.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I like Bob Seger too. I haven't listened to that though.
It's a good album. It just is. Turn the Page on there is amazing, and that I believe. I don't know if that was the way they released it or not. That song, if they released the live version, I can't remember. But yeah, it was great.
I know there was a single or two off the live album. I don't remember what came off though. Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot remember either, but yeah. And Bon Jovi, of course, Laura loves Bon Jovi, so I only play it when I DJ. Yeah, no kidding. And do they boo you off the studio or off the stand? It's, like I said, it just got played. It's like Maggie May for me. Maggie May, no.
Yeah, I know you don't like that at all because you got sick of it. Yep.
Beat that horse to death too.
Kim is that way about Hotel California. Her sister used to play it over and over and over again when she discovered the Eagles, and she got real sick of it. So
it spoke to her many times. many times. 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. before there you go. Nickelback also is a butt of jokes. A lot of rock musicians who openly rate. Yeah. I thought I enjoyed the music. What I heard of it. I didn't listen to a lot of Nickelback.
No.
Exactly. Never play, Free Bird. Free Bird. Oh, DJ. What a pain.
You want to watch my wife go nuts? Bring up Will to Power's version of Baby I Love Your Way Freebird medley.
Ooh, baby.
She will go out of her mind. She cannot stand that version of Freebird.
I like that version.
I do too. It's way more palatable than 8.5 minutes of whatever it is on the Skinner album.
What I used to hate about DJing was you'd always get people requesting Bob Seger's Old Time Rock and Roll, and they wanted to hear it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
What?
Were they all strip into their underwear and sliding across the floor like Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I just couldn't do it anymore. I had to quit. That, and I didn't like schlepping around the equipment. Let's see.
That's like asking somebody to play the chicken dance, for God's sake. Please don't.
It's sad that I have that in my brain. Guilty pleasure song. Here we go. AC/DC mashup, Back in Black, and Bee Gees Staying Alive. That is not a bad mashup. I love mashups. Dang it.
If they're well done, yeah, they're fun.
MTV had a decent mashup album. I can't remember all of them now, but I enjoyed that one thoroughly. Let's see. I'm glad Netflix, Stranger Things, that shows 80s music. Yeah, they do an actually pretty good job. A lot of that, as well as what's fun is when you watch Guardians of the Galaxy, they brought back a lot of decent music from the 70s and 80s.
They did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff. I mean, and I would have never thought we would have kids going around going, ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka in 2015, whatever it was when it came out.
Yep. But true.
I remember when that was out when I was in 5th grade.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? All right, we're going to wrap it up, I guess. We should, because it's getting to be 7-ish.
Oh, it is? Okay.
TC.
That went so fast.
It did go quick. You guys are amazing. The chat. I think the chat is just amazing tonight. You guys all have done a great job in giving us information and sharing your information and telling us what you thought of different things. I got a list. I mean, seriously, I got 3 Post-it notes here already. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, I got quite a few things written down.
Plus, I have something queued up waiting to watch it. So I'm good. I appreciate it. Yes, we do this for you, but we also
get to watch.
That's right. That's right. Dang it. TC, I'm going to let you go first and talk about what's going on your channel.
All right, there's my channel right there, TKR VideoCentral. I do 4 weekly shows 4 shows on a weekly basis. There is Influencers on Tuesdays, Rank This on Thursdays, Kirkham Report on Saturdays, and the Radio Retro Countdown on Sundays. Those all appear at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then I do Daily Obscuria Vaults, which is Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Influencers will be going on hiatus after the next episode for the season. I'll be doing a new season in January, and there will be a lot of other stuff coming in the future. In the future.
I'm loving your Obscuras this week. Are they all going to be as fun as that first one?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to do. Well, did you hear Friday's Obscuria?
Yeah.
which my other half was wigging out about. She's like, "Oh, good. Oh, actually, not so good. In fact, I
did.
It was a stalker song, basically.
It's what?
It's a stalker song.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I did look. You are a sick man. But anyway, as far
I
as
haven't played CB Savage yet.
What?
I haven't played CB Savage yet. Be grateful.
But the year is young, as I say. Or actually, it's not that young anymore. But hey,
it'll have to come with a PC warning, a big one.
Exactly. It's not yeah, it didn't age well.
No, not at all.
Milk. Yeah. So Mary and I, on our channel, it's 2 Hip Chicks, which you are here now, so you obviously know about us. Thanks for coming in. We do Chick Chat Tuesdays and Thursdays. We will be on Thursday because we ain't got nothing better to do, and we're not going anywhere for Thanksgiving. So, the heck of a reason to be on YouTube.
Segue right from Santa to 2 Hip Chicks.
Exactly. What the heck? So if you're not doing anything on Thursday, come on in and say hi and we'll talk. So also we are doing Mondays with Mel and BMOS on Melody Light Beam's channel. We do the Death Pile clearance Mondays at 1 Eastern time, where we it's more of a claim it thing. It's a buy it now, where you just, I throw something up, say here's a keyword that's $5, and you put the keyword in the chat if you want it. And then on Wednesdays, but not this Wednesday, because we're taking the day off. We are usually on Johnny's Hump Day Auction on Wednesday evenings at 6 p.m. on Cajun Roots Resellers channel. So you guys can check us out there as well.
At 6 p.m.? No, at 2 p.m.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. It ends at 6.
It ends at 6.
And it starts at 2. Thank you. Thank you. EC saving my bacon yet again. Yes, it starts at 2 and it goes till 6. So that's it for this week. I might do some backroom grading record things late, maybe on Thursday. I don't know. We'll see. But for sure, just keep an eye out on the community channel, on our community tab, I want to say. If you don't, click on the all notices for sure, because when we do a behind the scenes record grading, we usually just put it up on the community page and people could come in at their leisure and hang out and listen to music. So other than that, let me pull us both up again. That's cool. Any last words?
Other than to join us in 2 weeks on TKR VideoCentral for the next episode of Finding Your Music Mojo. That will be, if I'm not mistaken, December 2nd?
Ooh,
December 5th. Sorry, December 5th.
December 5th, a day after my birthday.
Woohoo!
There you go, right? Did you, and thank you. I see there that Michael put another link in, and I will grab that before we go anywhere. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. I guess we're going to say goodbye to everybody. Have a great night. We appreciate you guys coming in. We always love to get feedback from you guys, so please leave a comment or let us know what you want to talk about or what you want to hear about. We are more than happy to try to get some stuff up for you. TC, thank you very much for coming in.
No problem.
We will see you all in the later times. Take care. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Do hip kicks.